So that's gone a touch left, but it's on the green. And that felt phenomenal. Now, golf is about score, but it's also about how the shots feel. It's about the enjoyment of hitting golf shots. That feels amazing to me. It feels compressed, it feels solid. It's so enjoyable hitting shots like that. That's what I want to teach you in this video. When we look at the great players that you can see on the screen here, they all cover the golf ball exceptionally well. What do we mean by cover the golf ball? Well, it means that at impact, they've got their chest down at the ground. They have got their rib cage or their chest slightly open, and they've got the handle forwards. When you have the chest down, the chest slightly open and the handle forward, you get compression, you get low point target side of the ball, and the shots start to feel phenomenal. So here's what I'd love to do with you. I want you to do these little exercises with me. And the beauty of this, we can start with no club and then we'll introduce the club. I want you to imagine that there is a torch or a light or a beam of light coming out from your chest. And when we take a setup, where is that beam of light? It's pointing down at the ground. Now it's slightly above the golf ball, but it's down at the ground. Where is it at impact? Well, at impact, it's slightly in front of the golf ball, but still down at the ground. That's where it should be. The difficulty is in the golf swing, when it starts from here, it moves around all over the place, and it's hard to get back to the right impact. So if it doesn't get back to the right impact, if that torch and impact is too high or too far back, it just becomes really, really difficult to hit solid golf shots. That one really thin, didn't go particularly far. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a setup and get rid of the golf club. Place your shoulders across, your hands across your shoulders. That torch, I can see that torch pointing down at the ground here. Now the first thing we've got to try and do is understand that when I move my shoulders through a 90-degree rotation, where does that torch point? It points pretty much horizontally out in this direction here. That is such a key and important part of the golf swing to understand. If I simply take my shoulders, and this is so common, and just turn them, what happens? Where does my torch point? Well, it's pointing more behind the golf ball, but it's still down at the ground. What's happened to my head? It's moved off the golf ball. This is such a difficult move to recover from. I actually gave a golf lesson to someone fairly recently who had this exact move, and it was costing them real compression and distance at the impact. It was all right from the get-go. So we do not want that torch to stay down at the ground. I want you to imagine that torch, and as you turn your shoulders through 90 degrees, that torch is going to point horizontally away from you. I'm looking at the wall over here that I can see as a reference point. So really, really simple. I can actually get my torch from the ground and up over here. So the first little exercise is just to understand how we need to move the upper body through the backswing. If I demonstrate that poor movement that student of mine had fairly recently, this movement, I think we can all see what kind of shots he's going to hit from there. And that's exactly what's happening. He wasn't striking it, he wasn't compressing it, and he explained to me that the shots didn't feel great off the club face. So the first little exercise I want you to do is hit some half shots, where you just think about where your chest is pointing. I'm understanding how to correctly position my body at the end of the backswing, because we can't expect to have a perfect impact if the body isn't moving correctly in the backswing. So I'll show that once more for you. Chest is at the ground. Chest is at the wall behind me. Go through. Now straight away, look how similar those two shots were. Same flight, same compression, same carry distance, same direction. It's consistent because my impact is starting to be more consistent. So once we've got you positioned correctly going back, we can start to think about what this is doing in transition. This is the big one. This is the kicker, because this is where so many golfers get this wrong. It's in the transition. What we will often see is even from a pretty good position here where the torch is correct, golfers will thrust the hips, drive the hips forwards, lead shoulder goes up. Where does my torch point? It points up and it points behind the golf ball. No chance from there. You're not going to get compression. You're not going to get your low point target side. You're not going to get that ball squeezing on the face. You're not going to get those feels that you want. So what we've got to try and appreciate now is that from this position, I want to be working my hips back behind me, and the feeling that my chest or my torch is pointing back at the golf ball. I'm almost trying to create more angle here than I had at setup. So if my torch was, let's say, pointing here on the mat, I go back and I squeeze. and I'm trying to get my torch to point closer to the golf ball. Now that might not be exactly where it is, but it's my perception, it's how I'm trying to feel this. And what it's really doing for me is it's keeping my body angles where they need to be. Probably the biggest fault in transition is when golfers start to thrust inwards with the hips, head goes up, chest is up. If the chest is up, impact is almost impossible from there. So we're going to go back, torch down, torch down, torch down. But this isn't impact. Impact is not where the body is perfectly square on. That's not what we see in the best players. The best players have their body slightly open with the chest, more so with the hips. So we've got to appreciate that if I use my trail hand to reference the golf club, torch up, torch down, torch in front. Now I can visualize my chest pointing down at the ground, but in front of the golf ball. This is really key. So if you think about where the chest points relative to the ball, it's going up, down, in front, and there's a key move that it does after that, post-impact, vital for good ball striking. But as we're doing this in stages, let's now go ahead and see if we can move through that second phase of positions. So chest up, chest down, chest in front. And again, we're nowhere near full speed, but I tell you what, they feel phenomenal. They feel compressed, they feel really at the centre of the golf club. It feels great to me, and part of golf is enjoying hitting the shots above the ball. Up, down, in front. So the final phase to this is what happens post-impact. Now, some golfers think, I've hit the ball is gone, does it really matter what I do post-impact? But it does, because how many good players, elite players, great ball strikers do you see doing this? I would argue, not many. So on that particular shot, what did I do? I tried to keep my chest down. How many people have you played golf with who've told you to keep down, keep your head down, keep your chest down, don't lift up? If you're told that, and if you're trying to stay down, that is often what's happening. The biggest fault here is when we go this way, as you said, where we don't get the right transition, and then we try and stay down. If you've trained the first couple of phases correctly, where we've gone up, we've gone down, watch what happens to my torch into my follow-through. Up, down, in front. Where's my torch now? It's back up, higher than it's ever been at any point in the golf swing. In the backswing, it got a little higher, but post-impact, this is the key. Get in this position where you're covering the golf ball, chest is down and in front, but then from there, we push and extend. And we're pushing up away from the golf ball through impact. This is what the best players in the world are doing. They're not trying to stay down. They went through some phases earlier on which helped them get into a good impact, but they were never trying to stay down through impact. It's one of the worst things that you can do is trying to stay down, because it's going to cause your elbows to flex, it's going to cause your wrists to collapse, you're going to get all that horrible stuff.